And I admit, half of what I'm about to tell you is just me straight up stealing his content. But I'm doing it out of love and appreciation for him because it is really good content. And I put a link in the description, and so I'm off the hook. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future of web development. I'm Sean, and in this video, I'm going to tell you the key to being a successful web developer in the future. And the cool thing is, this isn't like those videos that bait you with an intriguing title and then make you wait all the way to the end to hear what the title promised. I'm going to tell you right now. Specialization. Become an expert in one specific thing in web development, whether it's a specific programming language or a library or framework within a language, or writing code for a specific type of hardware or software. Become an expert, specialize in that one specific thing, and then kick everybody's ass at it. Determine what exactly you want to be and what exactly you want to do. Do you want to build websites? Do you want to build mobile apps? Do you want to work with databases? Do you want to write software for companies? Do you want to be a hacker who gets paid by companies to check and find if there's a vulnerability in their site and put a poop emoji on every page where you find one? Probably not exactly like that, right? But you get the point. There's a lot of different things that you can do with web development. Now, if you watched last week's video, you might be saying, well, what the dude? Last week you just told me I could just pick Python or JavaScript and just dive right in without knowing exactly what I want to do yet. And that's true. I'm not trying to contradict myself. If you're a total beginner and you don't know exactly what you want to do yet, it's totally fine to just dive right in and start learning one of those two overwhelmingly popular languages with a wide variety of uses. Then after a few months or so, you can say, okay, I've learned the basics. Now, what exactly do I want to do? What exactly do I want to specialize in? And that's what this video is about. A month or so ago, I was listening to a podcast by a developer named Johnny Morris. It's called The Johnny Morris Show. There's a link down below in the description. It's a great podcast if you've got 24 minutes. And I admit, half of what I'm about to tell you is just me straight up stealing his content. But I'm doing it out of love and appreciation for him because it is really good content. And I put a link in the description, and so I'm off the hook. Anyway, Johnny Morris breaks down web development jobs into three main categories: programmers, builders, and designers. And he recommends that you, my friend, nail down which one you want to be in order to be successful. Programmers are the hardcore coders. They're the ones that write the nitty-gritty code that runs in the back end and sometimes on the front end of websites and apps and software, etc., etc. Programmers write the code that has all the little details. If you're familiar with things like WordPress or Wix or Squarespace, these are tools that you can use to build a website with writing very, very little or even no code. All you do is pick a template or a theme, for example, and then you plug in whatever you want the content of your site to be within that template or theme. But the reality is that there is code back in there. Someone had to write code to create that template or theme. The programmers are the ones who write that code. Now, obviously, programmers write code for a lot of different things too, not just website builders, but let's not get too far off the tracks here. Anyway, if you want to be a hardcore techie or a coder and you want to write the code that has all the little nasty nitty-gritty details of all of the, that everything that websites, apps, software, all that stuff needs, then maybe being a programmer is for you. The second category is builders. Builders are the people who build the websites or the apps or the what have you. Now, in terms of building websites, a high percentage of websites these days, particularly for small businesses, are built with WordPress. And as I mentioned before, the person building these sites oftentimes isn't even writing any code. They're just choosing a theme or a template that was built by a programmer, and then they're plugging the content they want into that theme or template. Builders typically do know some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but they're not typically the ones that are writing the nitty-gritty brain aneurysm code you see in the back end. The programmers write more of the code that the users don't see, while the builders create something that the user sees and interacts with. Now, sometimes builders don't use WordPress and they do write their own code from scratch. I, for example, did that when I was building our Tomorrow's Campus website. Click the link below, by the way. Web Development Course Finder, over 1,000 web development courses on all subjects. Anyway, I consider myself kind of a combination between a programmer and a builder. And I'm also top 100 in the world on Mario Kart on the original Nintendo 64. I think still anyway. Anyway, if you want to be a builder, then you should learn WordPress, and probably WooCommerce, or at least something that you could build e-commerce sites with. And you should also learn HTML and CSS, because even though CMSs or content management systems like WordPress make it so you don't have to write hardly any code these days, there's still going to be tons of jobs out there that involve HTML and CSS in the foreseeable future. The third and final category that Johnny Morris talks about are designers. And all of you watching this video are already better designers than I am. It's just not my thing. I just don't have a good eye for how things should look. But if someone else does have a good eye for how things should look and they tell me how it should look, then I'm the type of person who can build it and make it look like that. We're talking about websites here, of course. I'm not going to build a house for you or anything like that. Designers use software tools to create mock versions and layouts of websites and apps, and then the programmers and the builders are the ones who make it look like that in the real thing. And I can't speak much for design because I'm not a designer. But you, my friend, might be. And if that's your thing, go do it, get good at it, kick ass. Anyway, when I listened to Johnny Morris's podcast, I thought to myself, wow, that is a really good way to break this down. He also mentions that the divide between the three is becoming clearer and clearer, and that people who work in the field are specializing more and more. It's a big trend in web development, specialization. You want to become an expert in one thing. Of course, you'll need to have a working knowledge of the bigger picture and of a bunch of other basic things, but you want to become a true expert in one thing. That's the best way to separate yourself from your competition, and this can be especially true if you want to be a freelance developer. Pick one thing and learn it really well, whether it's a programming language or a library or framework within a programming language or whatever. Learn best practices. Learn to write the most clean and efficient code possible. With so many people who want to make a career out of web development, the only way that you're going to stand out is by following best practices, writing very good, clean, efficient code, and really making yourself stand out from all that competition. Be an expert in your field. Now, as I've said before, if you're a total beginner and you don't know what you want to specialize in yet, that's okay. It's okay to dive right in and start learning Python or JavaScript, of course, probably mixed in with HTML and CSS, but you'll learn those pretty quickly. The point is, you can learn the basics, and then in time, you sit down and ask yourself, okay, what do I want to specialize in? What do I want to become an expert in? And then go do it. Drop one of these down below if you found the video useful. Comment down below if you like. Hit that subscribe button to get notified when the next video comes out. Click the link below to tomorrows-campus.com and sign up for every last one of the 1,000+ web development courses. I'm just kidding, I'm sorry. But use the course finder and, sign up for one course if you'd like. Have a good one, guys.